I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Come on in.
Come on in.
Gee, we have full.
Hi, John.
So it's 5:30. What is this? July the 26th. This is our Buildings and Grounds Committee meeting. We're going to make it concise, to the point. We got another meeting at 6 o'clock.
That's it.
Who wants to start? Oh, right here. It says Gateway Middle School renovations. Let's start with that, shall we?
Okay, I know Mr. Brown is with us, and also we have Mr. Miko Brown. Miko, do you want to immediately go right to the drone footage, just to provide our viewing audience? And yes, I will get the lights, and our school board administration with an aerial update.
Hi.
1 minute.
Not for me.
We'll go like that so we can see. And if we ask you to stop, Miko, just put your finger on the mouse.
Is there any specific place you would like to see?
Let's go over by the auditorium, that area. Maybe out front auditorium.
It's a lot like my office. Everything's everywhere.
Maybe stop right there. Okay, Mr. Brown, you want to just provide us with an update?
Yes, what you're seeing, I'll try to stay off to the side. In the center, you see a very white roof. That is new roof from the new classrooms that are across from the administration that were in the courtyard. So that is all the steel's up, the roof decking's all on, and it's hard from the drone videos. The walls are all framed on the inside, getting ready for all the mechanics work. To the left, you see a big square. That is one of the additions that they just completed, getting all the roof decking on, actually today. And as he goes around, you'll see this is the 5th grade wing. The one with the roof is the 6th grade wing. Miko, if you can keep spinning around to the
48 side.
a little bit. There you go.
Stop it there. Mike, are we able to get the pictures off the screen so we can see?
Yeah, 1 minute.
So you have the other two additions. This third one is blocked. They're finishing the infill, getting ready to pour that concrete, which should be done Tuesday, Wednesday, by the time they get it completely filled. The fourth one, they're in the process of blocking up the foundation walls.
Just, if I could just quickly interject here. You see over here, this will become the new office area. The entranceway adjacent to what is the auditorium. You'll have a doorway into the office suite, which will include nurse, counselors, main office area. Forget about this.
As you see steel in the center here. That is part of the media center. We're waiting on some roof trusses for that, and then this wall will be removed to open up into that area. There's roofing materials spread out all over the roof. We're waiting on one product, which is due in next week. Then we will have all the roofing product on site, and they will continue to start the roofing. Miko, if you want to keep spinning around. This steel that was just delivered is for the first edition. That just
Start right
showed
there,
up.
Micah.
So right now, you're going to have to keep going, Michael. This is the 4th wing, which would be the 8th grade wing. That's the one they're blocking up right now.
Just for reference purposes, you can see the retaining wall at the bottom there, alongside Route 48.
And as you drive by there, how much dirt had to be placed in there to get it up to the building level. Miko there's nothing really going on in the rear of the building where PennDOT is. You keep going, Miko. Can you keep going up that way? Okay.
Looking to go around by the cafeteria.
By the cafeteria, the new gym towards the rear of the building. There you go. This area right here is Tech Ed. That was poured yesterday, all those floors. This is the new gym that they're actually laying all the block in as we speak. They've been working on that.
Are you able to zoom in a little bit on that, Micah?
It'll take me a minute. Hold on.
Testing your abilities here.
You see a bunch of rubble.
But see,
down
there's still
there.
more
That's being
thing to
crushed
do.
and
They
used
would have
as
to have more
backfill
thing
for all
to
the
do because they
additions and
would
all
have
that
the
work. So
areas.
that's why you see that sitting there. All the roof trusses that are there for the gym, they're on site. We're waiting, to get the walls up to do that. They'll be moving into this area, which is the kitchen, 2 new art rooms, and the cafeteria. That'll be the last area that we actually have to get the base work done in.
You can see the concrete block to the right there. That would be part of the auxiliary gym.
So now that this is poured, they will continue that block over and pour the last little piece of the auxiliary gym.
Bob, all those windows will be taken out, the ones that you see,
No,
they'll
no,
be,
windows only come out in the areas where there's corridors into the new wings. All the existing windows stay. They actually took the panels out at the top to increase the daylight. So those all stay. We do not replace all the windows.
now the ones in the old gym, are they staying also?
That, they get modified.
Okay.
They're not staying like that. They're not good, but we just got into that area. So those do get changed in the
Okay.
old gym. And those areas facing west get louvers on them because the sun comes in, heats up the building and everybody that's in it. So those get automatic louvers in a lot of those areas. Keep going that way, Miko.
You want to describe the area where the truck went through the floor?
That's where he's getting to. There, right there, Miko. This is and was and is the band area. There was a truck that would remove the gravel from the roof. The guy backed into this area, not realizing it was part of the building, and went through the floor.
Oh.
So the roofing company is paying for all of that work. This wall actually comes out, but that was damaged in that also. It's all insurance. It's all on those guys. So they've got it all dug out, filled back in, and they're getting ready to fill that in, remove that wall and pour the floors to start the block work in there. That's a 2-story section. Miko, if you can keep on going, I don't know if it's visible much. All the way in the corner, they did complete the main retention pond. It's in, it's right here in this lower corner. It's all gravel. It's all buried. It's a, subsurface retention pond. It was the main one. So we have it all fenced off so nobody gets excess dirt in there.
A lot of the trees have been removed from that area. There will be additional parking
Yeah, these.
put in place there. Hello. Hello.
So that's where everything is right now. There's many guys working inside, which you can't see from the videos, from patching the old doorways, cutting in new doorways, patching glazed tile. The mechanical folks are well ahead, so that is something that, we took advantage of. Now, as soon as the roofing comes, we're going to start with the auditorium and the gymnasium so we can continue inside of those areas And then they'll be re-roofing the existing building while the new structures are being built.
Painting of classrooms.
That has begun as far as block filling goes, where all the new block went to try to match it in and blend it as well as possible. So we have a painting crew in there doing those things. We're actually getting ready to finish paint about 18 classrooms that are on the interior that are, prepared and ready for that.
Bob, where are the classrooms you said that they are painting?
They're inside the building, throughout the hallways from what we would have called the 100 hallways. A lot of those are ready to go for paint.
Okay.
And once the painting's done, the ceilings will be put in, the light fixtures, the finished wiring, and then sealed off.
So are they the existing classrooms?
Yes.
Yes.
So did they make changes to all the classrooms or not?
No.
Okay, so that we still have some that are the exact same classrooms, but only they're going to be painted different and
Yes, if you remember, we went in, everything was gutted.
correct.
Flooring, casework, everything. Ceilings.
Right now, they're all prepped and being painted and, in preparation for the flooring and the final stuff. Those are the areas we were able to do to get ahead of it so we could keep these crews working.
Micah, if you could reverse a little bit there. Right there. You can see where I highlighted where the new office area, main entrance of the building would be located. We also have new classrooms going into that courtyard where you see the new roof installed. Right across from there is the media center where the steel has been erected. So you can see that over the last several months, there's been a lot of work completed. This is a critical time for construction. We want to ensure that we get everything at least outside finished by November, December. That would allow the following 6-7 months of interior work to be completed.
Are we on schedule?
We are on schedule right now, yes.
The retaining wall out front, somebody brought it to my attention, is it going to stay that color?
That type of block does not come in multiple colors because of the size of it. We have discussed the staining of the block to match the brick.
Which is not a difficult task to do. But we'll be waiting till that's further down the road and all finished. Because there's a fence that needs to be put on top of that, sidewalks need to be done. Once, that's a little further down the road, but that would be a choice that would be decided on if that's something you want.
So I'm kind of new. So what grades we will have in this building?
5 through 8, 5, 6, 7, and 8.
Okay.
And there is additional space built in for growth.
Okay. Bob, I have two questions. This is John. One of the change orders is about the auditorium projection loft structural modification for $26,000. The auditorium has a controlled booth to it.
Yes.
The booth sits like 30 feet higher than the rest of the auditorium. So
Yes.
there's some changes that need to go into that booth area. Is that true?
The structural changes that were hidden, that right there, Micah, these beams that you see there, they extend in and we're holding that up. Well, that all had a change. So structurally, it couldn't
It's a major
support
change.
itself.
Very good. Okay, the other question I have, and I'm not finding it on my notes here, but I remember reading it as one of the line items, is that the wiring and the announcement system, the PA system, the vocal system, the auditory system, was either $24,000 or $264,000. I can't remember. It was a big number, and so I wanted to ask about why was it a change order? Shouldn't that have been part of the original design architecture of the building? That is, that there should be some wiring and some audio capabilities throughout the building.
That's something Miko.
Miko may be able to.
Are you able to answer that? Because Miko handled that
Sure.
area some.
So are you referring to the paging system for the building for announcements?
I think I am. In other words, that's why I asked the first question about the projection booth. If it's going to be upgraded structurally and new wiring and fiber optic cables and speaker systems set into there, that could be part of this $26,000 upgrade. But I think it's a different item. That is, the building needs to contain the ability for announcements to be made throughout the building and outside the building. Bus number 2 is arriving, et cetera. So what is that line item? And if I may ask, why wasn't that part of the original price package for this whole architecture?
I'm not sure if I'm familiar with the specific line item you're
I'll
referring
look it
to.
up. I don't have my computer booted up. I'll look it up,
There
okay?
is it's about $300,000 line item.
Yeah.
Included in the original proposal, there was a sound system spec'd out for every classroom. However, while it did meet the specifications in the bid, it did not include the public address module of the sound system for each room. So we are substituting that. Now, there is a credit that we get because we're basically substituting something else in. But it was something that they did follow the bid. It wasn't using a specific model that we were assuming when the bid was wrote.
Okay, thank you, Micah.
Okay, Micah, if you could just show an overview of the fields, and I believe there's a number of different air conditioning units. Got the baseball and the football field looking good right there. See the air conditioning units. It's kind of like the depot for different equipment that's being dropped in. But there are weekly meetings taking place. And I would like to schedule a board walkthrough just to show the interior here within the next couple weeks. So I'll be sending out an invitation. Okay. Get the hard hats. And we can do the walkthrough once again. Any questions?
Will there be food involved?
You'll bring the cookies and the tea.
Dr. Singh.
I have a question.
Yes.
I have a question.
Yes.
I'm just curious, Bob, how much time are you required to be there overseeing this project?
There was no set times that I was, requested to be on site. Try to be there every day, walk through, see the different subs. I'm at all the meetings as well. So there was no specific amount of time for me to be at any particular place.
So you'd say you're visiting daily to at least check in on the project?
I try to go there even, when we're off, Friday weekends, I stop by. Just if there's any issues that the subs have that they're not getting answers the way they should, so I expedite all those things. If there's any conflicts between the construction manager and we have 14 different primes on his job, so there's a lot of different things going on. They don't always get along, so I'm there to make sure that we're moving it in the right direction.
Okay, but
I have just curiosity. Now, I know you're waiting on, you said certain materials for the roofing. Is that just for the existing areas or?
No, it's for all of it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a
So-
type of board
Right.
that needs to be put on, that's why. we
Yeah,
have
because
to-
otherwise I figured you'd have to then wait some more if
Right.
unless you have it now, even though you don't have the roofing up on those other areas.
Once we get that, they will roof all the existing building.
Okay.
To have that done, so then, at that point, we're able to put all the HVAC equipment up on the roof where it belongs.
Okay. Thank you. We'll move on. Micah, since you're there, do you want to throw up our next item for review? Your roundabout Forbes Hospital overlay?
I will need 1 minute to pull that
Yep.
up.
Really get a good view there of how that office area will look.
I think I lost the picture, so I'm finding it again.
In preparation for what you're about to see, we've had this discussion going back probably 3 or 4 years. Was interrupted by the pandemic, of course, where it slowed down. Across the street, Forbes Hospital, they have gone through a number of different renovations. You see the marquee out front. They added the cancer center. Their initial plan was to improve the infrastructure roadway, and part of their issue was approaching our campus on the right-hand side. The marquee sits on the left for Forbes Hospital. That became like an indicator for individuals not familiar with the roadways, the arteries, to think that the left-hand turn was imminent right there at the stoplight. And in fact, you would be turning into a one-way artery off the jug handle of Haymaker, which, when they ran a lot of data, I guess traffic data, they realized that there's plenty of accidents. We could blow that up a little bit, Maiko. So, Forbes, Hospital, Allegheny Health Network.
What the hell is that?
Has
Just got used to the change they made
I
4
know,
years ago.
I know. So just bear with me here. This is an aerial Google Earth view with the information from the architect and engineers from Allegheny Health Network. Just to show our viewing public as to what we anticipate being the final rendering, drawing, arteries that, in my opinion, should come into play by next spring, maybe summer, for construction. So, as you're driving up Haymaker towards our campus right here, we're very much familiar, and it took us a while to get used to the jug handle that is highlighted by signs to say to Gateway High School.
Right.
Correct? Everybody follow me?
Yeah.
Okay, now, the plans would eliminate this jug handle.
But they have a turning lane now. He's not done yet.
I'm not done yet.
Let them finish.
The lesson must continue.
Okay.
Okay, so jug handle has been removed. You would continue, that's north, right? Yes. Continue north on Haymaker. And you would have to bypass the intersection. Bypass it. To get into the right-hand lane, you go through the roundabout.
Oh my gosh.
To stop right there. That would be a traffic signal to then allow you to go across 48 into the campus.
And what was the reason that,
So how does it eliminate the people who are coming towards Haymaker from making that left into the jug handle?
It won't be a jug handle anymore, it's two ways.
yeah, won't be there?
No jug handle. Eliminated.
It's like the new
Right.
entrance for the hospital.
So
Oh, so it's not
traffic must follow Haymaker,
okay.
and then signage, because I emphasized this, Bob and I were very clear with the officials from PennDOT, AHN, this has to be specifically listed that to enter the campus, you must get in the right-hand lane to enter the roundabout.
Right, the question is, how do people coming south on 48 get into the hospital?
Yeah, well, that, right there.
Yeah, that's,
I'm reiterating
Because there is a catch up there.
Yep.
Yeah, that part's easy.
so the people, so it's a clover leaf, so the people coming down towards Haymaker, oh, there's the extension, okay.
You have to see this road here, and then if you're traveling north, you'll also enter the roundabout, and then there's a lane to get into the campus.
The hospital campus, you mean?
Also, the existing entrance down below that we're familiar with to take you back into the McKinley house area, that will remain in play.
All right, it'll just be the back entrance.
So the people coming up 48
This way.
take the the clover leaf too?
No.
No.
There's still a left-hand turn that we still have in existence there.
But if they wanna go to the hospital, they go
Yes, if they want to go to the hospital, they get
2 options, there.
there or the roundabout.
Yeah. So when you go into the
Still
clover
a
leaf
mess.
roundabout, where do you get off to go to the hospital at? Right there where it connects
Yes,
down,
it'll
right there?
connect right down there.
Okay.
And you'll see that they've added proposed new parking for the cancer center. This parking would be altered somewhat.
So the people on Haymaker won't be able to beat the light when they get on a jug handle, they make a right.
Mr. Short, is it possible to request study again coming out of the back of the sports complex?
Never
We
do
have
it.
to,
In 5 years, probably.
make that appeal to PennDOT. That is entirely our call, has nothing to do with Forbes.
Correct. Okay, so Forbes is paying, they're doing all this, they got all the
Everything.
approvals,
Yes.
and they approved signage for
Yes.
Gateway?
We've asked to see that signage. Also, it's important that lane restrictions, whether or not those little cones in the roadways, to specify which lanes begin to turn.
And they've agreed to that?
Yes.
And
And we're waiting to see this.
we don't have to pay for those signs?
No, nothing.
And are they gonna just say Gateway Campus, or what did you guys request? Did you guys request individual, library
We had
included?
mentioned, discussed almost like a lighted sign, as they were blocking the difference kind of how they gateway.
It's a very four-way intersection.
Okay, but like, nothing that says like sports complex, or high school, or Cleveland Stewart, or library, or,
Nothing like that.
And then it turns into,
Gateway Campus Boulevard.
okay.
that's where,
Which Google brings you to Gateway Campus Boulevard for the sports complex, right? Like, if you put something in, it takes you to Gateway Campus
Campus
Boulevard.
Boulevard,
Okay, yeah, okay.
So this would be a significant change. I will be formulating a letter, and I will have Mr. Dice review it as well, indicating that the district is in agreement, but must have the signage posted clearly. And we would like to see the signage in advance.
So does the district have the option to say no to this?
I mean, we could.
I'm just like,
yeah,
is
I
that,
don't think it has any weight to it.
oh, no, yeah, I didn't know, like, if-
Do you see this as affecting any traffic when we have our major events?
what about daily with the buses?
No impact with the buses. One thing that might go, and I have seen is a number of different accidents, potential accidents, the way it's configured right now, based on the traffic coming this way
potential accident.
and people realizing as they're coming up 48 that there's a turning lane in Gateway Campus, and all of a sudden they jump the line ahead of other vehicles. Micah actually captured that. Was that graduation, Micah?
Yes, it was.
We actually captured, Micah showed me footage of 2 separate incidents where traffic was coming up 48. There were 2 or 3 cars here at the light, waiting to turn left. These folks realized,
Good use, huh?
I have to get over there, and then they stopped right in the middle of the intersection.
Is that how Kenyatta got hit? No, that was an
That was a
ambulance.
separate incident, yeah.
In that area, but in that area, right?
Yeah, he was crossing the street this way, I think, and the ambulance was coming this way.
Now, is this
wasn't
set in
it?
concrete and PennDOT approved?
PennDOT is looking for the green light. There's been studies, traffic studies. They're ready to go on this. I mean, 3-4 years ago.
So there's 2 lanes that go split off to go down Haymaker when you're coming south. Will the far left lane be a left turn lane only into the hospital, or are both those lanes going to continue to, you know how before you would split?
There's arrows here, and I can't really see them, we're so small.
Oh,
but I believe
okay.
there's 2 lanes.
Okay, so the far left will be,
Yeah, I'm
We
really
actually added a lane there.
okay, I was wondering about that.
On that southbound side of the road.
And you see the 2 lanes here, and there's 2.
So there's 3. So the far, yeah, that makes sense because it gets really congested in there.
It backs up right in through there.
Where they come in now, they can turn left in there to get to the hospital.
Yeah.
Right now, it's one way.
Turning.
Many times have I seen people that were unaware start to turn in there and they're right in the middle of the intersection.
Is that
And
right?
no doubt, this whole
That's gonna be a mess.
intersection is extremely complex. I remember having a conversation with Don this morning about, if you're unfamiliar with this area, you can find yourself bypassing because you're seeing the campus here.
They have LC
And
plates.
Oh, yeah.
4 different arteries that,
So
you
you
can end
have
up on.
3
So
turning lanes and only 1.
That makes sense anyway, because people try to go and then
That is where we have
Slide over
the
because then it goes
opening of
only right turn in.
Starbucks down the road by King's.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that entrance and exit yet, but I'm curious to see how that affects
Yeah.
traffic
Do you want me to?
over time here.
It's one exit and entrance now, right? They moved it up to the top where the old PNC bench used to stand.
And remember, this is our cage.
That used to be able to use a PNC for it was a car wash.
I think this is pretty much a done deal, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
It's been in the works for a couple years.
Yeah, we want to see how it works. I mean, the marquee was really put in play there to be.
That marquee was there years ago, and as soon as that marquee went in, I said, there's gonna be a new entrance to the hospital right here. And personally, I think it's a great idea because I still see people turning into the jug handle to go to the hospital.
All the time.
It happens all the time, and there's always an accident there waiting to be had, so hopefully this will be better.
All right, beautiful, thanks.
One more item, I believe, on the agenda, then we could go right to our meeting. Update on the fields. Bob, you want to supply or review where we're at with the
Yes.
permitting?
Once it was approved, they had to redo the permit drawings for Allegheny County Conservation District, Monroeville Township, all of that had to be done. It has been completed. It is in the hands of the engineer. This happens to be called Gateway, but it's the engineers that are with the township and also with the engineer. So they're doing the preliminary review to make sure there's no changes, that it meets everything. From there, it goes to the county. They have to be the same engineer, so that is to our benefit that it can move through quicker. So at this point, they anticipate within 30 days we'll have the new permit. That was something that they could not use the old permit because of the amount of change. It was about a third of the project. So that has all been completed and is in the engineer's hands for the initial review. So we don't go through the whole process and become rejected. We wanted it to all be finalized. So it's within the next week, it should be in the county's hands to approve.
So Bob, we had to get it approved from Monroeville again? Is
They
that,
all have to do that, it's stormwater, it all has to do with the stormwater.
How long did that take for Monroeville to approve?
It's the same engineer, so he's looking at it from both sides, so really there was no.
Yeah, let's wait on that.
Monroeville's been really on top of things
Good.
with for us. It's just that the amount of work that had to go in to redo all those stormwater drawings, because the water is held differently and goes out a different direction. So all that criteria had to be met.
So you're looking at it, that it will go down like hopefully within a week down to the county?
Yes.
And then the turnaround time you're hoping would be?
Well, he got back to me today, that the whole thing, that we should have within 30 days the final permit.
Can we get that any faster? Is there,
That is fast.
Okay,
Normally it's
I'm gonna,
many months.
I'm gonna say one of the perks, I guess, being on the Rotary, Mrs. Delaney and I, we have someone that works with, Mr. Fitzgerald. Would that be of any help to try to talk them to get them any faster, since we've been waiting?
what department is this permit in?
I don't know that that would hurt in any way.
What department should we tell them this permit is in?
I'm sorry, Mary Beth.
What department should we tell them this
It's
permit is in?
Allegheny County Conservation District. And they're kind of a standalone entity, which makes it a little more difficult. But once it's in their hand, I wouldn't ask them to do it till it's in their hand.
All right, and it'll be in their hands when?
And I will let you know exactly when it's been given to them.
What would we call it? The Gateway School District permit for fuel? Like what, how would they identify?
That information, how it's listed, because different people call it different things.
Okay.
So I'll get that to you, that this is the name, here's the permit number, or the.
Okay, between all of our contacts, maybe we can pull some favors. We could try.
We have our attorney too that could always intervene.
Who has it at Monroeville right now?
It's not Edmund, it's at Gateway Engineers.
Engineers, okay.
They're Monroeville's engineers, but they're also the engineers for the project, and they also have the contacts within that conservation
The
district.
problem is, yeah, if they're independent, sometimes these independent agencies don't listen to anybody.
They don't.
It's first in, first out.
Take months to years to get through. So, that's why, it's actually pretty quick. But I will let you know all the pertinent information, so, whoever it is you're speaking with has that.
I would appreciate that, thank you.
Speaking of permits and delays, what's going on with University Park and the electricity?
They were to set the transformer today, but with the storm Saturday, they pushed us back. So they didn't get back to me this afternoon with plan, because there's 5 different departments. They don't seem to play well with each other. But they set the meter today, they just didn't set the transformer. So we're hoping we get it tomorrow. Once that is set, we have 2 days of work, and they can turn the power on.
And that's Duquesne Light.
That is Duquesne Light. The storms that came through Saturday, everybody witnessed them and what they've done. They take priority.
Bob, why did we delay the turf of the baseball and softball fields?
Well, what we did last year, the permit finally came through on November 4th. We had a number of discussions internally that, starting at that time with getting the materials actually here in the supply chain, that the contractor, Shaw Sports, we're all very concerned about trying to do that over the winter. Do the lights, not the turf, because if it got too wet, it would have to dry out all summer to do so. So the decision was made at that time to wait till after the season was done, which put us at the end of June.
And then because we waited, it cost us another $200,000 for excavation now?
Excavation, fuel charges, because of all of those increases that we've all incurred.
But the permits haven't changed from when we first applied.
Yes, they have. That's why, because we added an entire field. That's why they had to redo all the permitting.
But if we didn't add an entire field,
We jumped right on it, and we were ready to put shovels in the ground the day after school was out.
but we would still be paying more for the excavation.
That still was a product of the pandemic and, the fuel prices.
So that could affect us over at the junior high when we go to do that.
It could. Right now, they're dropping down, so at that point, we have to relook at it. Now, we've shifted some of those dollars to help cover this.
Are the installers all set to go?
They are. I keep in contact, the Champion Wall, all that stuff has been on order. We didn't stop any of that. It's all been on order, but they're waiting on the permit. Now, these people, the county inspector actually lives in North Huntington. He drives past our door every day. So we can't just move forward. It would be detrimental to the whole project, because he has stopped by just to see where we're at a number of different times.
I did have a constituent ask me about the Champion Wall. I talked to Dr. Short about this. They said, is it something we should look into, because you can't see through it, so if it's a safety concern, I don't know why people think like this, could someone with a gun be on the other side of the wall, or et cetera, or trying to come towards the campus at all? So I just bring it up to everyone's attention that there is some concern about the wall because you can't see through it. I stated that state police were doing some investigating and looking at all our schools and report back to us about safety concerns.
You mean the outfield fence?
No. Outfield fence.
We're fenced, though, you can't get onto to that outfield fence unless you're already on campus.
I'm just.
Yeah, I guess I'm not following. The gunman would
The logic.
come onto campus, drive around to the entrance, then walk behind the wall so that he wouldn't be seen.
I just said I would ask and,
I'm just, like I said, I don't get it.
I don't know. I just relaying the info.
All right, before we move on from buildings and grounds, there've been a number of complaints, both by board members and residents about about phone calls in the middle of the meeting.
Turn that off, would
I
you?
promise that'll never happen again. About the condition of our grounds, our grass, our weeds. It's been brought to Dr. Short's attention. And certainly part of the explanation is every summer, as I was told, we spend a lot of time inside the building getting ready for the school year, which I think everyone understands. We need to be able to do that and to maintain our grounds. It looks like crap. I agree with the people that have complained. I've seen it myself. I don't think it says good things about Gateway, and I think we ought to be able to take care of the inside of the buildings and regularly maintain the outside like every homeowner does and every other business in Monroeville and Pitcairn does. So,
Curb appeal.
I'm sorry, yeah.
Curb appeal. It's
Call
very
it what you'd
important.
like. Curb appeal, it's symbolic of how we feel about the district, it's details, it's pride, however you want to say it. We've failed.
I'm just gonna say too, that the tree that got hit Saturday night over Cleveland Stewart was taken care of. I mean, it's gone. And, I'll be the one to say, yes, I went around, looked at the facilities. And I guess being a resident, I was very disappointed on my behalf because I didn't say something sooner. And, hopefully, as Jack's saying, there's a lot of people that have been complaining. And I think a lot of it has to do with our baseball field, but, we're telling them, yes, we're getting a new facility, bear with it, but just the grass on the outside coming past the weeds, just, even though we're getting new facilities, we just can't let this go because everybody going to the hospital is seeing this.
What is the chain of command for Bob? Like, if he's working on all this construction, is there somebody that's taking over and he's delegating all the grounds to?
Bob's in charge of facilities, grounds. I oversee Bob.
So is there somebody under you that's helping you with? Oh, I mean,
There is
there's
somebody
that's a
under
huge
me,
job over there.
But he has other duties that really do that. Dr. Short and I had a conversation. We are addressing all of these concerns. After that conversation, I began immediately, some areas that we can't do inside, we're going to sub out. I've made contact with these people. We're in the process so that we can address all of these needs.
I can assure this board, our constituents, and I do understand that as you're passing 48, you do have the fields, they are being prepped for the renovation. The turf fields, fences have been brought down, dugouts have been brought down. There's a lot of work going on. The exterior grass, dealt with that immediately. We do have some additional work to be done. We have to do that ourselves internally due to the manpower and the shortage of the crew that, again, we have utilized in the past that we went out to, for quotes on. So it will be done. It will reflect what we are accustomed to, and that is a grade A grounds and buildings, and it will look good by the start of the year.
Can I,
Bids go out for grass cutting?
We have, Mr. Schott and I are working on the specs for all that. It takes a little bit of time to put it all together. It would be for the upcoming season, which starts in the spring. That was the intent to do that, because we were not happy with the folks that we have, their labor problems and whatnot. So we wanted to, actually, I went to them about putting it back out to bid. We were, with the project and the moving parts, we were trying to hang on with that because one day they may have to cut this field and then tomorrow that's gone because we're working on it. So it was difficult to do all of that in the contract. It wasn't working out very well, so that's why we requested to put it out for bid. So we're working on that in order to have a new company or whoever the bid would be, the responsible party for the spring season.
So the spring season being 2023?
But I,
Go ahead, finish. No, but we have the manpower to cover that between now and.
We're working with them and internally together.
Okay, so we've had this conversation before. Dr. Short's talked about his illustrious career on the summer crew. Gateway for years had students mow grass, paint curbs. The students made money, the stuff got done. Someone, I'm sure, had a very good reason why they stopped that once. The thing, seriously, you look out this window right now, this grass right here is an embarrassment. So, I don't know if, we have to take everyone around every building. It's not just 48. If you drive by any building, you see stains, you see tired-looking buildings. Yes, our buildings are old, but there are plenty of old buildings that are kept immaculately. So, one of the reasons we're building or spending $40 million on a middle schools, frankly, buildings fall into disrepair, partly because they're not maintained. Things get old, absolutely. Some things get old more rapidly if they're not cared for. We have to do a better job of this. If we can't solve this problem, how can we educate kids? Seriously, this is ridiculous.
What other solutions are you in need?
Can I just want to reiterate the bashing that we're giving the administration right now too, because it's maintenance, and I think the board is supposed to set the tone, and I think you're understanding that the tone is that we maintain all of our facilities. We don't let them turn into shambles over the summer and then get them back into shape for the fall, okay? But on our end, if you're not having enough resources because you're pulled in too many directions, we know we have a major renovation going on, we understand that, then you let us know and we approve extra help for you, whether that's hiring kids to do mulching underneath you or whether it's hiring a landscape company to come in. But I think the expectation in the summer is that the shrubs get trimmed, the weeds get pulled, the mulch gets refreshed, the paint gets redone, the worn out picture of that Ramsey
Loading docks.
loading
get
dock
painted,
looked
cracks get
terrible.
fixed, all the stuff
So
that gets done.
it's buildings, it's facilities maintenance, and I think I think I'm speaking for everybody on the board. If I'm not, please speak up, but I think we want the facilities maintained better. We don't want, none of us are happy with the way things are looking.
But could I possibly make a suggestion? Micah, are you on? Micah?
Yes, I am.
Would it be possible, Bob, I don't know, I don't think you do this, but when I put a ticket in for a technology, it is reviewed online through their computer, iPad, Chromebook, or whatever. When I put a ticket in for maintenance, how does that go? Do you print a
Goes
ticket
to me,
and then,
I review it, and then I have to determine priorities of what's going on, you know, in general, and how that falls, you know, what that priority is.
do you, all right,
And I get that to the
okay,
proper personnel that can handle that.
when you get it to them, do you physically give them like a piece of paper? A physically piece of paper?
Yes.
Is it possible to have it tracked online, like the technology does? Like if they say there's, you know, a problem, say at Ramsey, you know, they say what the problem is, what room it is, and then one of the techs would go, correct, Micah, am I correct in saying this? And the tech would go to Ramsey, to that room, and say, okay, I found this to be the problem. So we can see what's happening. Like, I'm just gonna say, I put a ticket in for that exit sign up at the high school, and it was closed, and I was there today, and it's still broken. So I thought it was fixed when it was closed, but it's still not correct. So is there a way that we could have, like our maintenance, get iPads, Chromebooks to follow that way, to do what they're doing?
You could, not all of our people are tech savvy.
Mike,
I mean, not that people can't be taught, educated, because, you know, a lot of people use their phones for a lot of that. So yes, you could do something along those lines.
Micah, is that something that could be done?
Yes, in the past, we've provided custodians in each building a laptop computer so they can get emails. This would be something similar where we would put out additional machines somewhere in the district at designated locations that they could log in and update tickets as needed.
Okay, so I would like, possibly if we could start implementing something like that, just, I mean, I'm in the buildings a lot, and I'm seeing a lot of things, and it's just, like Mary Beth said, you know, this isn't the way things should be.
Well, the problem is that we live in a community. I'm on the Building and Grounds Committee, and a lot of people that work here aren't in the community, and we're the ones that are getting the brunt of the heat from the community when they ask us, why isn't this being maintained? Why does this look bad? And, you know, we're the ones that have to go back to them with an answer. So they at least know right now that we are bringing this up, and we trust that you guys are going to address it.
You know, beyond that, when someone walks past the sign hanging down day after day after day and doesn't bother saying, hey, you know, that's wrong, maybe someone should look at that. Or when someone paints a curb like they've never seen a curb or a can of paint before, they're saying, I don't care about this. Maybe I don't care about this job. Maybe I don't care about this school district. And yeah, it's not the biggest deal in the world, but all these little deals add up. So, you know what, everyone ought to just think for a moment. Do I want to be here? Do I want to be doing this? Open your eyes when you walk down the hall. When you walk through your house, or you see a light hanging down, you say, boy, I better fix that. Or tell someone who knows how to fix it to fix it. Doesn't have to be your job. Doesn't have to be your job. You know, everyone's part of this entity. And, you know, it's wonderful to fall in love with the new $40 million thing, but we got buildings all over the district. We got grounds all over the district. every one of your moms said, we don't have any good stuff because you won't take care of this stuff. You know, she was right. So we gotta do better, and we don't need to waste any more time talking about this. If we bring more things to people's attention and they don't get fixed, we're gonna have a problem. Because it's not board members' jobs. We'll all do it. If you want us to drive around the grounds daily and note, you know, what's wrong, I guess we'll do it. But that's really not our job. And if we have to do that, then, you know, that will not reflect well on anyone. Anyone else have anything to add?
Me and Val and you went around, we took pictures, brought them to Dr. Short, and Dr. Short said, give me a month. And I said, no. I said, we're not done. Showed him more, and he agreed, you know, it's gonna take more than a month. It didn't take a month to get that bad. It's not gonna be fixed in a month. It's gonna take time. And I think by bringing it to the attention of the administration and everybody, I would hope that even if we have to outsource things, you know, we need to get ahead of this, because the more we wait, the more it's gonna cost. It's parking lots, it's painting, it's, you know, that's just the outside. We didn't go on the inside.
Yes.
One more thing, Mr. Hall, being that we know that our athletic turf will not probably be done for fall ball, have you reached out to the community, Monroeville and Pitcairn, about maybe accessing their fields for the girls softball and boys baseball?
And preliminary conversations about that, given that it's always a possibility and an eventuality. Hopefully said, hope we don't need you, but yeah, we'd like to have you on the back burner, and obviously now it's probably time to have that follow-up conversation that we do indeed need you. So.
That's all I have, thanks.
Anything else, buildings and grounds?
One other question. Being done on the track football field area, football is going to be here shortly, and I had pointed out to Dr. Short the jumping areas. What are those things? I don't know, where the jump places. Thank you. They've got, I was here Sunday when soccer was practicing, and they were kicking the balls and they were going into the water, and watching the kids trying to get that out. I don't know what could be done, because that's happening now. I mean, that's been like that. And with the rain Saturday, it's, what?
So didn't we get covers for those?
We have, because those are the covers that are holding the water. That was one of the topics of discussion. We came up with a plan to address that, so the water would run off versus.
But it's pulling.
It pulls because of the sand level and the size. We placed those covers last year, the year before, but the level of the sand is below the exterior surface, so it's holding the water. So we're gonna raise the level of the sand for the water to run off instead of pool.
We don't want mosquitoes.
True.
How about the bees? Should we address the bees?
The bees, I don't go outside.
Yeah. Courtyard?
The one courtyard that has been addressed.
What did we do?
Well,
Can I ask how did you get like a bee person? Because there were a lot. Did you get somebody?
Exterminator.
Or did you just
We did not
spray?
get an exterminator. We sprayed them. We followed up on it multiple days. They have not been back. We actually had a call from the group that did the group last night and sent somebody in because outside there was a hive near the backfield. We took care of that immediately. So unfortunately, they would have been, those were yellow jackets, actually, the ones that we have, so they're a wasp. But they're out there. You know, they go from spot to spot. We get them, we have to spray them.
Well, everybody gets their hits on this board sometimes, and sometimes administrators have to take their hits, and
Oh, yeah.
It's
welcome to the club.
Well, are you short-staffed with maintenance? Like,
Well,
what do you have?
This
and what do
time
you
of the
need
year,
to
we
have?
do a lot of project work. because we can't do it during the season, but that's no excuse. These are things that we're going to address, take care of.
That's a good answer.
And hopefully not have to have this conversation in the future.
I'm just trying to see if we can.
It's a great.
Well, we did just hire one that we had a
Saying we should
position
do
open.
this in executive session.
Started a week and a half ago, but we knew he was gonna have his first child, and that was Sunday.
What would you say?
But we actually have, and I believe it's on the agenda, some custodial spots that were empty, that we were struggling with, and we were able to get some quality people that they're gonna be starting as well. So,
You'll also see on the agenda tonight that we're looking to go out for bid on paving,
yeah.
some other items, elementary schools, et cetera.
We've had them in our capital budget the last couple of years, but that had got wiped out for the project, so there was a lot of things on there that you might see that we didn't miss, but the monies were moved elsewhere. So we do everything
As far as
we
a
can.
crew, you
The
have a
crew,
significant.
it's really, in those areas, probably better to sub out,
Okay, yeah, I know,
contract out some of those.
that's what.
For some of those items, like, paving, roofing, it's just different things that our people don't have enough time to actually go in, start it, finish it, and get it done. So it's better to, go out.
Instead of just being, yeah, I was trying to come up with some solutions here.
Anything else on buildings and grounds? No, good, excellent. Let's move on to our special school board meeting, the regular meeting. We have to do another pledge of allegiance.
Yeah, you do.
Micah, do you need a break?
You need to say we're ending this meeting and it's,
I'll say whatever I want.
thank you.
It'll take about 10 seconds to transition.
Okay, so do I hear a motion to adjourn this meeting?
Motion to adjourn. Second.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Meeting is adjourned. Micah, do you need any time?